Hey guys, good morning. Now the time of today's morning is 6 o'clock and I am shooting this video for you to improve your knowledge about the Customs Act 1962, the Customs Clearance, Import and Export Goods. So guys, the Customs Act 1962 has been implemented from 1st February 1963. The act was made in the year 1962, but it was implemented in the year 1963. And in the previous videos, we have already seen up to the chapter number 9, warehousing, all the sections. So, in this video, we are going to see chapter number 10, drawback. So, drawback in terms of the export of goods is very important section in the Customs Act 1962. So, you have to understand this section very thoroughly and how this act, this chapter is doing his role in the export of goods. So, guys, in the chapter 10 drawback, there is four sections. Section 74, drawback allowable on re-export of duty paid goods. Section 74 is drawback allowable on re-export of duty paid goods. Section 75 is drawback on imported materials used in the manufacture of goods which are exported. Section 75 is drawback on imported materials used in the manufacture of goods which are exported. Sorry. So Section 75 is drawback on imported materials used in the manufacture of goods which are exported. Section 75A is interest on drawback. Section 75A is interest on drawback. So here A section has been inserted. Section 75A interest on drawback. Section 76 prohibition and regulation of drawback in certain cases. So section 76 is prohibition and regulation of drawback in certain cases. So section 74 is drawback on drawback allowable on re-export of duty paid goods. Section 75 is drawback on imported materials used in the manufacture of goods which are exported. Section 75A is interest on drawback. Section 76 is prohibition and regulation of drawback in certain cases. So we are going to see in detail what are these sections. So section 74 is drawback allowable on re-export of duty paid goods. So in the same subsection 1 is when any goods capable of easily identified which have been imported into India, upon which any duty has been paid on importation. Subclause first are entered for export and the proper officer makes an order permitting clearance and loading of the goods for exportation under section 51, or clause second are to be exported as baggage and the owner of such baggage for the purpose of clearing it makes a declaration of its contents to the proper officer under section 77, which declaration shall be deemed to be an entry for export for the purposes of this section, and such officer makes an order permitting clearance of the goods for exportation. Clause third are entered for export under clause A of sections 84 and the proper officer makes an order permitting clearance of the goods for exportation. 98% of such duty shall, except as otherwise hereinafter provided, be referred as drawback. If Clause A. The goods are identified to the satisfaction of the Assistant Commissioner of Customs or Deputy Commissioner of Customs as the goods which were imported. And Clause B. The goods are entered for export, which within 2 years from the date of payment of duty on the importation thereof. So, within 2 years, the goods shall be entered for export after date of payment of duty on importation, provided that any particular case the aforesaid period of 2 years may, on sufficient cause being shown, be extended by the board by such further period as it may deem fit. Subsection 2. Notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 1, the rate of drawback in the case of goods which have been used after the importation thereof shall be such as the central government, having regard to the duration of the use, depreciation in value, and other relevant circumstances, may by notification in the official gazette fix. Subsection 3. See, the central government may make an rules for the purpose of carrying out the provisions of this section, and in particular, such rules may clause A provide for the manner in which the identity of the goods imported in different consignments which are ordinarily stored together in bulk may be established. Clause B specify the goods which shall be deemed to be not capable of being easily identified. Clause C provide for the manner and the time within which a claim for payment of drawback is to be filed. Subsection 4. For the purposes of this section, Clause A, goods shall be deemed to have been entered for export on the date with reference to which the rate of duty is calculated under Section 16. So, Section 16 is date for determination of rate of duty and tariff relation for export goods. So clause B, in the case of goods assessed to duty provisionally under section 18, the date of payment of the provisionally duty shall be deemed to be the date of payment of duty. So basically in the section 74 drawback allowable on re-export of duty paid goods, when the export goods are entered for export and the proper officer makes an order permitting clearance of the goods for exportation under section 51. Then if goods are exported as baggage and owner of the such baggage for the purposes of clearing it makes a declaration its content to the proper officer under section 77, which declaration shall be deemed to be an entry for export for the purposes of this section, and such officer makes an order permitting clearance of the goods for exportation. And in the clause 3rd, there is given the goods are entered for export by post under clause A of section 84, and the proper officer makes an order permitting clearance of the goods for exportation. 98% of duty shall accept as otherwise hereinafter provided be repaid as drawback. Okay, 98% duty be repaid as drawback, and the goods are identified to the satisfaction of the Assistant Commissioner of Customs or Deputy Commissioner of Customs as the goods which were imported. In the clause B, the goods are entered for export within 2 years from the date of payment of duty on the importation thereof. So, 2 point is very important here in this section, that the 98% of the duty maximum as a drawback will be given to the exporter, and the goods should be identified to the satisfaction of the Assistant Commissioner of Customs or Deputy Commissioner of Customs. So, section 74 is drawback allowable on re-export of duty paid goods. In section 75, drawback on imported materials used in the manufacture of goods which are exported. So, section 75 in the same subsection 1, where it appears to the central government that in respect of goods any class or description manufactured, process or on which any operation has been carried out in India, being goods which have been entered for export and in respect of which an order permitting the clearance and loading thereof for exportation has been made under section 51 by the proper officer, or being goods entered for export by post under clause A of section 84 and in respect of which an order permitting clearance for exportation has been made by the proper officer, a drawback should be allowed of duties of customs chargeable under this act on any imported materials of a class or description used in the manufacture or processing of such goods, or carrying out any operation on such goods. The central government may, by notification in the official gazette, direct that drawback shall be allowed in respect of such goods in accordance with and subject to the rules made under subsection 2. Provided that no drawback shall be allowed under this subsection in respect of any of the opposite goods, which the central government may by notification by rules made under subsection 2 specify. If the export value of such goods or class of goods is less than the value of the imported materials used in the manufacture or processing such goods or carrying out any operation on such goods or class of goods, or is not more than such a percentage of the value of the imported materials used in the manufacture or processing of such goods or carrying out any operation on such goods or class of goods as the central government may by a notification in the official gazette specify in this behalf. Provided further that where any drawback has been allowed on any goods under this subsection and the sale proceeds in respect of such goods are not received by or on behalf of the exporter in India within the time allowed under the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, 42 of 1999, such drawbacks shall accept under such circumstances or such conditions as the central government may by rule specify be deemed never to have been allowed, and the central government may by rules made under subsection 2 specify the procedure for the recovery or adjustment of the amount of such drawback. In the subsection first A, where it appears to the central government that the quantity of a particular material imported into India is more than the total quantity of like material that has been used in the goods manufactured, processed, or on which any operation has been carried out in India and exported outside India, then the central government may, by notification in the official gazette, declare that so much of the material as is contained in the goods exported shall, for the purposes of subsection 1, be deemed to be imported material. Subsection 2, the central government may make rules for the purpose of carrying out the provisions of subsection 1, and in particular such rules may provide. Clause A, for the payment of drawback equal to the amount of actually paid on the imported materials used in the manufacture or processing of the goods, or carrying out any operation on the goods, or it's specified in the rules as the average amount of duty paid on the materials of that class or description used in the manufacture processing of export goods, or carrying out any operation or export goods of that class or description either by manufacturers generally or by persons possessing or carrying on any operation generally, or by any particular manufacturer or particular person carrying on any process or other operation and interest if any payable thereon. Subclause AA, for specifying the goods in respect of which no drawback shall be allowed. Subclause AB for specifying the procedure of recovery or adjustment of the amount of any drawback which had been allowed under subsection 1 or interest chargeable thereon. Clause B for the production of such certificates, documents, and other evidence in support of each claim or drawback as may be necessary. Clause C for requiring the manufacturer or the person carrying out any process or other operation to give access to every part or his manufactory to any officer of customs, specially authorized in this behalf by the Assistant Commissioner of Customs or Deputy Commissioner of Customs to enable such authorized officer to inspect the processes of manufacture processes or any other operation carried out and to verify the actual check or otherwise the statement made in support of the claim of drawback. Plus, for the manner and the time within which the claim for drawback, payment of drawback may be filed. Subsection 3. The power to make rules conferred by subsection 2 shall include the power to give drawback with retrospective effect from a date not earlier than the date of changes in the rates of duty on imports used in the export goods. So section 75 is drawback on imported materials used in the manufacture of goods which are exported. Section 75A is interest on drawback. Subsection 1 where any drawback payable to claimant under section 74 and section 75 is not paid within a period of 1 month from the date of filing a claim for payment of such a drawback, there shall be paid to the claimant in addition to the amount of drawback interest at such rate under section 27A from the date after the expiry of the said period of 1 month till the date of payment of such drawback. So under section 27A, the claimant get interest on his drawback amount if drawback amount is not paid within 1 month after claim of drawback. Subsection 2. Where any drawback has been paid to the claimant erroneously and it becomes otherwise recoverable under this act or the rules made thereunder, the claimant shall within a period of 2 months from the date of demand pay in addition to the said amount of drawback interest at such a rate fixed under section 28AA, and the amount of interest shall be calculated for the period beginning from the date of payment of such drawback to the claimant till the date of recovery of such drawback. So section 75A is interest on drawback. Section 76 prohibition and regulation of drawback in certain cases. In the same subsection 1, notwithstanding anything herein before contained, no drawback shall be allowed. Clause B, in respect of any goods, the market price of which is less than the amount of drawback due thereon. So, the goods of the market price is less than the amount of drawback due. Clause C, where the drawback due in respect of any goods is less than 50 rupees. Subsection 2, without prejudice to the provisions of subsection 1, if the central government is of opinion that goods of any specified description in respect of which drawback may be claimed under this chapter are likely to be smuggled back into India, it may by notification in the official gazette direct that drawback shall not be allowed in respect of such goods or may be allowed subject to such restrictions and conditions as may be specified in the notification. So we have seen 4 sections in the drawback, chapter 10, section 74, drawback, allowable on re-export on duty paid goods. Section 75, drawback on imported materials used in the manufacture of goods which are exported. Section 75A is interest on drawback. Section 76 is prohibition and regulation of drawback in certain cases. So very important chapter, drawback in the Customs Act 1962. You have to do thoroughly and keep listening videos again and again to improve your knowledge about the Customs Act 1962. And I'm uploading daily videos on my channel to improve your knowledge about the Customs Act 1962. And I am the first person in India who is doing this job for you, giving in detailed information about the Customs Act 1962 to improve your knowledge about the Customs Act 1962. If you are a working professional, we don't have that much time to read the books, so you can listen these videos while traveling, while driving, or in your free time in the office hours also. So keep listening and improve your knowledge. Thank you guys. We will meet you in the next video with another chapter and another sections. Till time. Bye bye and take care.